So, welcome back to another video. So, I mean, I guess we were all really wrong on group stages, especially me, I guess. I really fucked up my predictions in the groups. I really should have just went with my gut because I actually thought Cine would make it out of Group A. Like, in my heart, not in my brain, but in my heart I did because I'm a Perks fan. And I really thought that they would make it out, and well, they did make it out. Um, they really made it out, and FPX just bombed out. Like, if you see my group predictions, I fucked it up really hard. And if you watch my last video, I also fucked it up really hard. Like, I didn't expect that, I didn't expect C9 to make it out, like, just using my head. And I also didn't expect, Hanwha probably had a better roster than PSG and Fnatic, but the problem is it's a best of one, That's what I was really banking it on. Like, when I make prediction, it's really just because it's a best of one. And now that might sound absurd because FPX, you remember 2019, FPX had they had a really shit group stage and they looked really bad. But in my head, I was also like, there's no way FPX just bomb out in groups because it's fucking FPX. You would expect FPX to win the entire tournament if you were someone else, not me. I didn't expect FPX to win the entire tournament. I didn't even think they were the best Chinese team, and rightfully they weren't. It's probably EDG, and it will probably still be EDG because it's EDG. Like, they have the best bot lane. They literally just won the championship, the LPL championship. They have the best bot lane. Scout is a monster. JJ has found himself for the team. Flandre has gone back to form. So, like, I don't really understand why people were saying FPX was the best team when they were kind of overrated going into the tournament in general. Because, first off, what basis are you putting them on? Like, the fact that they made two finals and they didn't win anything. Like, if you look at the spring finals, LWX and Tian were non-existent in that spring finals. Naguri was non-existent in the summer final. Tian was also non-existent in the summer final. Like, Tian has had his ups and downs, and Tian's downs were insane when it mattered the most for FPX. And for someone like Doinby, he wasn't bad, but not being bad or just being okay, it's not good enough. When you're the player that everyone expects you're the best player in the world by consensus, apparently. And by the way, you look really stupid right now if you actually thought that was the case. Like, ever since the MSI final, I always thought Showmaker was the best player in the world, personally. Even after Worlds, I was kind of getting in my head, like, Showmaker is probably the best player in the world, Like, people will say, oh, it's because he has Canyon as his jungler. Like, bro, Canyon has, in a lot of situations, Canyon has not showed up yet. Showmaker still has showed up. To that, like, when people said that Showmaker is overrated and that Chovy's better, or yeah, Doinby was better, or other LPL mid laners better, like, shut the fuck up. You already saw what happened. And listen, it's just best of ones, but sure, we didn't see the real Doinby. I don't know if you could say real Doinby because what we saw was the old Doinby, like the 2019 style Doinby, when he was picking shit like Malzahar, picking shit like Malphite. He picked at this Worlds he picked Malzahar. Ironically, he also picked I believe in one game he picked just the champion Rumble. He picked Rumble, which is obviously out of meta right at the moment. Um, yeah, we didn't really get to see the Doinby that we saw in the LPL, just carrying FPX at times and smashing the other mid laners there with Knight, or better than Knight if you ask some people, and the MVP of the LPL, rightfully so. We didn't see that Doinby at this World Championship, and sure, it's best of ones, but it's best of ones that matter. You can't just lose. Like, listen, if you lose 4 best of ones in one day, like 4 best of ones in one day, it's almost like it's not a best of one because some teams you're gonna play repeatedly. For example, they played C9. No, not C9. They played Rogue repeatedly. They played Rogue once, and then I believe that then the game between C9 and DK happened, and then they played Rogue again. So it wasn't really a best of one in that sense because they had time to adapt, and they already saw what happened. Now it wasn't necessarily a best. It wasn't necessarily not a best of one in the case that it's technically still a best of one because it's 1-0, one result matters, whatever. But you get the premise. It wasn't really like a series, but it also wasn't really like a best of one on the final day, and that's where FPX stumbled. So, and I can't really give a pass for them for that, because even though they are a best of 5 team, they shouldn't have collapsed like this. You know, there's no excuse to be given when you collapse that hard. Uh, but for C9 and Rogue, like Rogue, they played great. They played admirably. They played to their strengths. The only thing I question for Rogue is the final game when, okay, let's be real. Rogue just got absolutely, like, it might have seemed close because everyone played scared, including C9 and Rogue. Like all the players except for Perks, they all played scared. Perks at times was randomly just running it. He was randomly inting. Like there's just decisions you would think that should have been really obvious, but you know he still overstepped it. But that's just Perks. You know, that's just Perks, and in the end it worked. He carried the team. Like I don't care what people say. Vulcan played one of the worst Alices I've ever not ever seen. I think it's Reach. One of the worst Alices at this tournament, at least. Yeah, that's I think that's reasonable to say. He played one of the worst Alistairs I've ever seen in this tournament. And then Blabber was good in that game. Like I think Blabber was actually the one of the biggest reasons that they also were able to make the run. Blabber, Perks, and Fudge. Sven, he played bad in the game against Rogue, although he did land a lot of good MF ults and he did stop a lot of stuff. But I was really scared when when Sven got caught out in top lane after Perks killed Odo Omni, because I mean took Odom's GA, because that really could have turned the favor if the Elder wasn't if there were neutrals up for the game. And obviously there was, I believe. I think Rogue tried to get the Baron, I think, but they were stopped, or maybe I'm talking about something else. But yeah, I think that was pretty winnable for Rogue. I think Perks just gapped Larson really. No matter how you see it, Perks was the difference maker in that game. Especially in that final team fight. That was just and the plays he was making as well, like that was just insane. But for Rogue, one last thing I want to put on Rogue is, I mean Trimby didn't play that good, but why the fuck are you gonna put Hansama, your best player, on Jhin? Like, why? Like put them on something that does damage, man. Like, why? Why Jhin of all champions in the final game to decide your quarterfinals fate? Like, Hansama wasn't even useless. Like he was doing some damage, but you're not gonna expect Hansama to play that good, especially in a comp against LeBlanc. I mean, like, Rogue's comp in general had no one to deal with LeBlanc. I mean, they had the CC to deal with LeBlanc, but you know how that went. Odo Omni got 2 shot by LeBlanc by Perks. Hansama got 1 shot by Perks. So I mean, like, and like, you have to imagine as well that Rogue wasn't thinking, like, I mean, actually that's actually what I wanna say. It's just, why would you give Perks LeBlanc in the first place? Like, what the hell? Why would you give Perks LeBlanc in the first place? Like, I think they basically lost the game from then on. But you know, enough about yesterday. I mean, obviously there's also more things to skim by. You know, that Mad Lions, the 3-way tie in Group D, and then Group C. You know, the Bipograma. You know, who gives a fuck about that, honestly? Like, I mean, check my Twitter out, by the way. I have some spicy stuff there, but you know, the Group B with T1, EDG, 100 Thieves bombing out, nearly losing to DFM, by the way. That was really crazy, by the way, I have to say. But enough about that. Let's head to the actual predictions. So, the first match, which is today, it's Hanwha Life versus T1. And to no one's surprise, I'm gonna predict T1, because, like, if you would, I mean, like, if you watch the LCK and if you watch the regional qualifiers, you look at the scoreboard of 2-3 T1 and you would think, oh, these teams must be close. And I'm like, no, they're not close, not at all. By the way, they're not close at all. I think in the regionals, in the last series that T1 and Hanwha Life played each other, I think T1 made a lot of mistakes in the last 2 games. Remember, they probably should have swept that series. Like, they probably should have swept that series. I think T1 just made a lot of mistakes in games 3 and 4. T1 in general is a way better team than Hanwha Life. Like, you play to Chovy's strengths basically, and depth as well. But and like Faker is like Faker and Chovy, like, I mean, you would imagine Faker would be some sort of carry, but no. I mean, I think everyone probably knows this, but Faker has been one of the most low econ mid laners at this tournament. Might even be the lowest. I have no idea. I'm too lazy to research, but use your eyes. He is one of the most. He's playing shit like Twisted Fate. He's playing Desir. He's playing the. I mean, I guess Zoe is technically not that much of It's technically a lot of resource champion, but you get the point. He's not necessarily the one carrying T1. Like necessarily, yeah, you would look to Gumayushi and what's her name, Kana, in top lane carrying these games. Like Faker is more of someone who's activating these carry players. Like Kana, I wanna go to Kana. Well, actually, I wanted to go on something on why Kana is so good and I'm not so good, but like why he's been really good at this tournament. Which is if you have eyes, you'll know he was really good at this tournament, and hopefully he'll continue to be for T1's sake. But I don't really have to get into that because Hanwha's top laner is Morgan. So enough said. Gumayushi and Kiria, when you compare to the Deft and Vista, like Deft has been really good at this tournament, yeah, but do you really think Deft is like? I think Deft's career has just been really cursed. It's gonna be sad if he loses, but he probably will as well. Like I think T1, like I don't really know if there's really much to be discussed here. It's more like T1 just wins by sheer firepower, T1 like as a team, it's just better than Hanwha. To be frank, like they're just better than Hanwha. Like it's a fucking miracle that I mean Willer okay, to give props to Hanwha. Willer has improved and he has really looked pretty decent at Worlds and at the regional qualifiers but also Owner's looks like a monster for T1. It's the perfect jungler looks like for Faker. And yeah, T1 is just a better team firepower wise and everything, basically everything wise than Hanwha. I think Hanwha is pretty doomed here, sadly. Like I don't really know how that's really gonna go at this point. So for the next predictions, RNG and EDG. I think EDG is probably the better team than RNG. Like, in fact, you might even say EDG might win Worlds if you actually watch the LPL. And I did watch the LPL. Viper Mako is the best bot lane in the world, period. And certainly at this tournament, and they're better than Gala and Ming. I'm talking about the AD disparity here, not the support disparity, because Mako and Ming, they're obviously very close. But Gala and what's his name? Viper. The thing with Gala is he's pretty overrated. Like, that's all I'll say. Like, he's pretty overrated, and if you don't understand that, then you won't understand that because that just means you just watched the MSI. You didn't watch the actual LPL. Like, I think Viper is a way better player than Gala. I don't think that's really that's an over exaggeration to say. JJ looks like he's been really good at this World Championship. EDG's team fighting in general is very 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 good. They're like their drafts as well, like and everything they've done so far. Like actually it's just best of the ones at groups, but they have had a good read on the meta as well. Out of all the LPL teams, they probably had the best read on the meta of all LPL teams. Like for sure. Scout, you have Scout over, and then you have Cryin on the other side, bro. Like that's not even worth discussing. Scout is, I think he's probably the best mid laner outside of Showmaker in the bracket stage, and probably like in Worlds in general. Actually, you would probably say, maybe Chovy, but I mean, yeah, it's either between him or Chovy, and then. I mean, as I said earlier, and like Flandre, like he's had a resurgence of form as well. Like, sure, you have Xiaohu on the other side, but I think Flandre can handle him. I'm pretty sure he can handle him. If you watch the LPL, he has been doing fine against Xiaohu as well. Like I feel like RNG, like when they play the Trends, they have to play through Xiaohu to get their success. If you ask me, going against EDG in this series, I don't think Gala and Ming, unless they get the right picks and unless they get the right situations, they're not gonna win. Against Viper and Mako. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say that right now. They're not gonna win versus Viper and Mako. Cryin, that's even worth discussing. Wei, like, and then you have Xiao in front of you. I think this might be not a different speaker, but an area where you can point out to shut down or to power up. And I think Flandre can hold his own against Xiao. And like I said, you might even predict EDG might even just win Worlds. They wouldn't be my pick, but it's very possible they just win Worlds. So yeah, I'm predicting EDG to take down RNG. Damwon vs Mad Lions. Okay, I am an EU fan, but I have to be real here. This Damwon is probably the scariest Damwon we've ever seen. Ever seen. Like, okay, that might be a kind of a reach actually. Is it though? I mean, for sure, Naguri was a better player than Khan in 2020, but I mean, at least for this year, it's the best. It's the best. It's the scariest Damwon has ever looked. Like, this Damwon isn't the same Damwon that came from Spring, that shot the bed in MSI. I mean, they didn't shit the bed. They made the finals. It took RNG to 5 games. But let's be real. Damwon was just Showmaker and Canyon. One half of Canyon. They had no bot lane. Khan was a coin. But this Damwon looks really, really scary. Because if you have to remember, Damwon had no bot in MSI. I mean, I said that earlier. Damwon had no bot in MSI. This Worlds, Ghost and Beryl, in the best of fives, they just have to be good. Like, not even good, they just have to be okay. They just have to be okay. Unless they face a team like EDG, being okay is good enough. Because you have Showmaker and Canyon in your team. Khan he looks so good. Khan in the top lane, he looks so good, and it's so fitting for his last tournament of his career because he's gonna retire after this year. Khan looks so good going in to the bracket stage, and I mean, as I said, Showmaker and Canyon, as long as the pieces around them just do okay to good enough, they'll carry you. They'll bring you there. You have the best mid jungler duo and the best mid jungle period individually by strength and by player sets. I personally think Showmaker is the best player in the world, and I've always said he was. And by the way, as I said earlier, like, you just got proven wrong. Showmaker is the best player in the world. Like, your boy Doinby shot the bed at Worlds this year. I mean, he didn't shit the bed, but and relative to what you would expect out of him, he wasn't. He isn't as good as Showmaker. Let's put it that way. He isn't as good as Showmaker. Like, I don't care what people say. And then, I mean, as I said, Khan has had a good resurgence form, and I think Mad against Damwon, I hate to say it, but I think that was a fluke. I think 3-2, like the fact I got that close, I think Damwon made a lot of key mistakes. Their bot lane was just non-existent. I said at times, like in that series especially, I think Karzi and Kaiser absolutely had their way with Ghost and Beryl. And then, I mean, I feel like Showmaker would just have a with humanoid. Like, if you watch the MSI finals again, I'm saying, I mean, I did say that the MSI final is not a good reference to judging Damwon and Mad Lions, but Showmaker had his way with humanoid in that series. That's all I'll say. He had his way with humanoid in that series. And Khan, like, I mean, it would just be pretty funny if Khan loses to Armut in his final tournament. Like, that would just be really funny, by the way. If that would be so sad. But yeah, I'm gonna predict Damwon to easily win over Mad Lions. I like, also, by the way, I have to say also, Mad Lions, they're not having the best worlds either. Like, and by the way, Mad Lions is a best of 5 team, and it's pretty sad that they get Damwon because if they beat Gen G, they would have probably gotten. I mean, EDG is probably a good matchup. I wouldn't say EDG. They could have gotten C9. They could have gotten C9. They have a way better chance against C9 than against Damwon. It's just sad because if they won that match against Gen G, the tiebreaker, look, that could have costed you an entire run, potentially even by the smallest of chances, a world championship perhaps. Who knows? But yeah, I guess that's just how the format is. It just hinges on one game, and Mad got the short end of the stick there. I think Damwon wins this pretty easily. Final game before I head to brackets or whatever. Gen G C9. I think C9 wins this. Like, okay. First off, I have to say, Gen G will not punish you if you make mistakes. Like Gen G, it's the same Gen G as old as last year. Remember, this is the same old. I mean, ironically, it's also the same 5-man roster as last year. BDD looks good, yeah, for sure, they look good. But Gen G as a team, like, especially against a team like C9 who doesn't care. Like, at times they will just not care. Like, that can cost C9. That can also cost Gen G. But the thing with that is, C9 and Genji, uh, I think the thing with C9 and Genji is that C9 is almost like I can totally see the series going 3-0 Genji or 3-0 C9. Like it can go either way. Really, it can just go either way. That's really possible, by the way, because just of these two teams play, and specifically when you put them against each other, it's gonna be very interesting to see how that goes, you know. And then I think BDD in general is a better player than Perks in the lane, but when you get out of the lane, like I'm not saying BDD is a slouch or anything, but Perks will impact the map. He will impact the map. He's really good and he's really clutch. Genji, they're gonna struggle a lot if they keep up to their old playstyle. If they don't change anything up, they will struggle and they might even just lose the series. I mean, I'm predicting them to lose the series. And you saw, like, I mean, Genji hasn't had the best worlds either. Neither has C9. Like, C9 only really ramped up this week. But I mean, Genji hasn't really had the best worlds either. Like, they looked really bad in the games against Mad Lions and TL and LNG. And sure, I mean, yeah, you can. It's just best of one. So obviously, you're gonna be dropping games, but we've seen it last year. You know, I remember this C9 team has Perks in it. Perks was in that G2 team that destroyed Genji. Perks was not really the main reason G2 knocked Genji so hard, but he was one of the reasons, and like he went even with Ruler in that bot lane against Genji in the quarterfinals last year. And I could see Perks going head to head with BDD. I can see Sven and Vulcan potentially maybe just going even with Ruler. Like that would be enough. If you shut down Ruler, this series is over. You shut him down, his series is over. BDD is good, but you have Clid and Rascal. They haven't been performing that well. Like Clid and BDD as a duo, I don't really like it. Like you would think in mechanical strength that this would be a really good duo, but just the execution and how they've been playing and what we've seen so far in the last 2 years, it's not really the best of what you want to see. You know, it's not really what you would expect, especially if you came from 2019. And then you look at historical reference. Like historical reference is not really the best way to look at things, but come on, man. Like Genji has the exact same roster, the exact same style, and they're going up against someone who, well, for example, he's beat Genji, and Genji, I almost forgot to mention this. They're the most predictable team at Worlds. I think the only team that could probably lose to Genji, in a best of 5 in this bracket stage is probably Hanwha Life. That's for expected reasons. So yeah, I mean, I guess I really just poured out everything there. I think C9 will beat Genji. So we're back to the good old Microsoft Excel bracket that I made, obviously. I obviously adjusted to everything that happened. So I believe it was I think I'll just finish the bracket. It was C9 and Genji, and then the other team was, I think, just DK and Mad here, and then final two teams. That's final two teams. It was HLE and T1. Yeah, I did predict. So I predicted T1 to win. I predicted DK to win. I predicted C9 to win, and I predicted EDG to win. I obviously didn't say in how many games they would win. So I'll say that now here now. So I believe EDG will win 3-1. I believe I think RNG is good enough to take the game. It's just that, I mean, you would think that these two teams are even, but I feel like EDG have just really stepped it up at this World Championship. Like, especially going into best of 5s, I feel like RNG are just gonna go down. Like, I don't know why I'm suddenly saying that and why I suddenly lost all hope on them, but yeah, that's really just how it is. I just think that RNG will just really go down right now. I feel like it's just really, I don't have analysis for this, by the way. I don't know why I'm saying this. It's just a feeling. I don't know why I'm saying this. Like RNG is, you would think RNG is a really good team, and some people even have them winning worlds. But for me, really, I just don't know. I really think RNG is just gonna lose to EDG here. Even though, I mean, I think everyone would probably say EDG is a better team than RNG. And it was not really like crazy prediction, but like I think it would be pretty crazy to not even say that they won't even win 2 games, or they might not even have a good chance to win the series. Like I'm saying that, and others are not saying that, you know. But I personally think that I feel like EDG will win against RNG. C9 Genji, this can easily go 3-1 or 3-0. This could easily go 3-0, 3-0 for any other team. I'm predicting 3-0 C9. I mean, like, pull out all the coping pipes, pull out everything. Give me those stockings, man. Like, I don't care. I'll say it. I'm saying it right now. You have perks. I believe in perks. I already put all my analysis back there. I'm not gonna repeat it again. This C9 team, I feel like it can really do something at Worlds this year, in the bracket stage especially. DK and Mad. Yeah, I mean, I said earlier, I feel like it's gonna be a 3-0. I think DK wins is probably 3-0. Like I said again, it's really unfortunate that Damwon lost to Mad Lions. Not lost to Mad Lions, sorry. It's unfortunate that Mad Lions lost to Genji because they could have gotten like C9 instead of Damwon Kia, and that would have been really interesting. You know, they could have easily won that that series against. They could easily win a series against C9. They could easily lose against a series against C9, but you have a better chance against C9 obviously than against Damwon, you know. So it's really unfortunate they lost that series against against Genji, that game against Genji rather. Hanwha Life T1, I think this will probably be the least closest of everything. I'm just gonna say 3. Maybe I'll give Hanwha. I think 3-1, maybe 3-1. I'll give Hanwha a game. Yeah. So going to semis. Okay, so I'll do 2 segments. One for what my brain is thinking. So what my brain is thinking is probably 3-1 EDG. Probably in this case, I think 3-1 EDG. I think that's pretty fair. 3-1 or 3-0 by the way. Either way, it doesn't matter. They're probably gonna beat C9. I think the bot lane difference. I think Sven hasn't really had a really good. Sven and Vulcan hasn't really had a good performance this game. And although Blabber and Perks have really stepped it up, I feel like JJ has really found his way around EDG. And Flandre is probably gonna hold his own against Fudge as well, or might even just beat Fudge straight out. Especially the player he is. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna predict EDG 3-1 against C9 over here. And plus, I don't think it'd be wild to not predict this because I mean EDG are the champions of the LPL, and you might even predict them to win Worlds. You know, you might even predict them to win Worlds. But yeah, that's basically all I'll say. I'll save it up all for my final predictions later. Damwon versus T1. Now you could use the LCK finals as reference. Obviously T1 looked really bad against Damwon. Like I don't care what people say. Like even though it was close to becoming a 5-game series, I feel like it shouldn't have been close to becoming a 5-game series. I think Damwon just made some mistakes in the finals against T1. T1 looked really bad. Like if you just put it out there, they just looked really bad against Damwon. I don't think that will change either. I don't think that will change. I think Damwon, I feel like it's just a team for Destiny. I think this team is probably the best team at this World Championship, probably the best team in the world period, probably the team you would predict to win Worlds if you were someone else. It's probably the strongest looking team right now, so yeah. I'll predict 3-1 again. I think T1 will at least take a game. I feel like Teddy will see a lot of playtime, by the way, in the best of 5s. I feel like he will get, I mean, I don't know about a lot of playtime, but I feel like he will see the stage. So yeah, I predict Damwon 3-1 or 3-0. It's the same as EDGC9. I think it's really just really DK and EDG favored. DK versus EDG. Now this is where it gets interesting because EDG, it's almost like a counter to Damwon. They have the best bot lane in the world. Damwon has the worst bot lane in this tournament. Ghost and Barrel can be real liabilities, by the way. At times, especially. And Flandre is a player who can hold up to Khan, by the way. He can hold up to Khan. Scout and Showmaker, like they can go head to head with each other. Like Showmaker, for me, is the best player in the world. For me, is the best mid laner in the world. But Scout can go can go with him. You know, just because you're the best player in the world doesn't mean that you can't be dealt with. I think Scout can. I won't say beat, but he can handle Showmaker for sure. Scout's some very very good players. They're one of the best mids in this tournament. And it's really sad that the narrative where the Scout Faker narrative that could have been brought up even more in the group stage. Because this is obviously the first tournament where Scout is a better player than Faker. Um, yeah. Aside from Rift Rivals, but Rift Rivals is who gives a fuck about Rift Rivals, DK EDG. This is very. I mean, as I said, it's the most interesting matchup because Damwon is pretty much counted by EDG and almost always. Not to mention like EDG is not necessarily an LPL team like you would think of an LPL team, but because like EDG plays like a Korean team at times. Like they play really controlled, not as controlled as LCK teams. They do have LPL elements to EDG, but EDG also like it's a controlled style where it gets really crazy at times as well, and they just tend to be in the right place at the right time. It seems like, I mean, as I said earlier, JJ has looked really good at this World Championship. Flandre can hold his own. Scout has looked amazing. Viper and Mako, they haven't really been that good in the group stage, but it's just best of ones. They will be monsters in the best of fives. I can almost guarantee that. With that being said, I think Showmaker and Canyon. I think Showmaker is the type of player where he's really really clutch. It's really like the second coming of Faker. Showmaker is just a player where he will find a way. I think Dom, I will dominate. I think he put this real best. Like Showmaker is just a player where, if it doesn't go right for Damwon, he will just find those openings. He will just find those ways to bring Damwon back in the game, and he just has some sort of aura. It's almost like Perks. It's basically an Eastern Perks, or Perks might just be a Western Showmaker, not necessarily with the skills, but Showmaker, his clutch factor, his intangibles. It's very very important when facing a team like EDG. Even though like you might think EDG are chokers, I think that narrative is kind of bullshit right now. I feel like EDG have washed that storm in the LPL finals, and I feel like they're gonna keep improving. They'll keep ramping up heading to the finals if they make it there. For Damwon, Khan is in his last World Championship. He's looked really really good. He's having the tournament of his life basically. Canyon has looked good. Showmaker has looked he's amazing. Like he's in the best form probably you might have ever seen. I don't know about that, but yeah, for Khan for sure it was. For Showmakers, looked really good. It's one of his best tournaments you've ever seen for sure. Ghost and Barrel, they're okay, but again, as I said, Viper and Mako, that they're probably gonna win that. I don't think there's gonna be debate about that. And that's gonna be key, by the way, if they do face Damwon, Viper Mako. For my final predictions, however, I'll predict Damwon wins this series, and that's because of Showmaker. Not because of Canyon, not because of Khan, not because, who knows what if Ghost and Barrel step it up. It's because of Showmaker. I think Showmaker is just that player. He's just that player. He's gonna show up when it matters. He has the clutch factor, and he's gonna be at the right place at the right time. He's gonna find these openings. He's going to be the player that will just drag you to the finish line. He has a winner's mentality. And that's basically the reason. It's just intangibles, really. It's not analysis. It's not because I'm not saying Damwon wins because what if this goes that way or that goes that way? What if they have a better draft, or what if EDG cannot play to their strengths? I'm just saying because of one player, and that's Showmaker, and that's just how much I believe in this guy. He's one of the best players we've ever seen for sure. It's truly great. 3-2, he did Damwon. So, but. This is what my brain says. Clear, what we all want to see is, what we all want to see, like what my heart, at least what my heart wants to see, what I want to see, and I think a lot of fans will probably agree with this as well. So, I mean, I think I'll still go with T1 beating Hano Life. I think I'll probably still go with Damwon beating Mad, whatever. I'm just gonna keep the quick predictions, but for Cena and Genji as well. I want RNG to win. Because it's gonna be about Perks, the main protagonist. It's gonna be about Perks. That's what I wanna see. The full revenge tour after leaving G2 and heading to C9. So I want RNG to beat EDG, whatever way, 3-2, 3-1. And then let's just ignore this side of the bracket for now. Like the lower side of the bracket. I think I'll just keep up with the predictions. So DK make it, T1 make it. I predict 3-1. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's ignore that. And we have C9 in semis against RNG. And oh my lord, how hype, by the way, would that be? Like, and that would be really hyped as well against EDG. But this one, it's almost like a return, you know, because like you have RNG against Perks. You know, G2's not here, but Perks is here. We've seen these before in the quarterfinals. We've seen the greatest upset in league history, by the way. And C9 making out the group of death, by the way, in Group A. It's probably the greatest, one of the greatest accomplishments ever. Because this is, you have two like people like they downplay how amazing that performance was, like how amazing this accomplishment is. You have Rogue. Okay, I'm not even gonna start with Damwon and FPX. You have Rogue, the best, not the best European team, but on paper they are really good European. You have Oduamne, Inspired, Larsen, Hansama. Chumbi is a rookie, but you know Chumbi looked really good as well. The Rogue, like on paper, they're really good. They're really good. You know, they're not slouches. They're really good. And then you have FPX. I mean, most people would have said that they're the best team in the world. I say that was an overreaction, and rightfully it was proven wrong. But you know, it's still FPX, and you have Naguri in the top lane. This is technically an upgraded FPX, and Doindy has been playing way different than he was in 2019. It's like a refined 2020 version of himself. If you watched Doinby 2020 as well. But and then you have Damwon, the defending world champions. You know, that's just crazy. How C9 got out of the group, and the storylines around this would be so amazing already. Especially if it's against RNG. The same thing would be for EDG, but even more so against RNG because you're going up against RNG. It's basically the full revenge tour. So what I want to see is I want to see obviously C9 inking out the win over RNG. 3-1 or 3-2. I'll just say 3-2 for the narratives, for the hype, for the silver scrapes. And we have C9 versus Damwon. And what you all want to see. Just fall back in circle. This is not predictions, by the way. This is just what my heart wants to see. C9 beat Damwon in 5 games. And Perks wins the MVP of the tournament. I think that would just be... I don't know if everyone wants to see that, but that's certainly what I want to see. So yeah, that's a wrap basically. Hope you like enjoying it. Subscribe. Share this with everyone else. So this is my proper predictions for the entire tournament. This is what my heart wants to see. So yeah, I'll see you when Worlds ends probably. Yeah, I'll be making a Perks video, by the way. I'm gonna be making a Perks video before the game against Gen G. So yeah, that'll be it for me. I'll see you soon.